Recently, I was having a conversation with one of my beautiful, amazing clients, and she said to me jokingly, "You don't want to go into my mind alone in the dark at night." Now, what she meant by that when she jokingly said that was that some of her thoughts perhaps were not as supportive in terms of her and what she wanted in her life and on her journey to love than she might otherwise like them to be. And one of the things that I've learned from doing this work and supporting women all around the world is that your mindset and having a mindset that is conducive to attracting, keeping, and maintaining love is one of the key factors in your overall experience and success. So today I'm going to share with you 3 tips for having a mindset conducive to love. My name is Michelle Marchant Johnson. I'm with Love Life Coaching. I'm privileged to help women all around the world have extraordinary lives, have extraordinary love, and meet and attract the man of their dreams. It's all centered around you showing up and being that woman of high value and being that best version of you that invites the very best from a man who is just right for you into your life. So, on our topic of having a mindset that is conducive to love, I want to start real briefly with just a little story that illustrates my point and why this is so important. Because what I have found is that if your mindset is not conducive to love, you can be doing all of the quote unquote right things on the outside, meaning creating opportunities for you to meet someone, dating, exploring how you might expand your social network, etc., etc. But if the mindset and what's going on in the mind is blocking you, even if you're doing all of those right things on the outside, what's going on in the inside can block you or prevent you from moving forward, because often you'll sabotage whatever could be possible because of what's going on in your mind. So let me just tell you this little story. A few years back when I was in my probably mid-30s or so, I had a late evening flight from Salt Lake City to New York City. And it was about a 4-hour flight. I sat next to someone that I didn't know, a man, and we had kind of an enjoyable conversation going. And at one point, he started asking me if I was single and if I was married, if I had children, et cetera, et cetera. And by this point, we had established a bit of a rapport, and I was pretty comfortable in talking with him. And just out of my mouth to this person that had been a total stranger came out, "No, and I don't really know that I ever will get married or really meet anyone." This was a point in my life where I was pretty discouraged about what was happening, or more precisely, what wasn't happening in my love life. And he looked at me like kind of like stupefied and said, "Why would you say that? Why would you believe that? What evidence is there for that?" And it just kind of took me back, because I thought, here's this stranger who just barely met me, doesn't really know me, and he's asking me why I believe that. And I didn't even really know how strongly those beliefs were there until I started expressing them to him, and they came out of my body as what I was believing or feeling at that time. And he was the one that kind of brought that to my attention by saying, "Why would you believe that? What evidence is there for that? What's behind that?" And I thought, wow, isn't that really something? So what was going on at that time was I had some beliefs, even if they were operating kind of on the unconscious or subconscious level for a while, that had me believing that it was unlikely that I ever would meet or marry the man of my dreams. Now, happily, that isn't the case, but that's what was going on for me at that time. And I can see where, if that is going on for you, some limiting belief, some unempowering belief, some belief based in fear, even if it's on the subconscious level, it can potentially prevent you from moving forward in the way that you want to. It can potentially prevent you from seeing opportunities that might otherwise appear differently. There's a saying that says, when the observer changes, the observed also changes. Now, I can't cite my source for that because I don't remember if it's exact or where I got that from, but I've heard that before, and I think it's really true, and I think it's really powerful. When the observer changes, you as the observer, your mindset changes. The observed, what is possible, what you can see out there also changes. So, I just want to give you 3 quick tips that I think can help to set your mindset or reset your mindset on the track that might be more conducive for love. The first tip is to focus on what you want. Be really clear about what you do want in your love life, what you do want in a relationship, what you do want to attract in a partner, what you do want to do in your life. And don't focus so much on what you don't want or what you don't have. So in other words, instead of saying, I don't want to waste a lot of time in the right relationship, focus on what I want to do is to attract and invite in the right man for me and to have that relationship develop and evolve in exactly the right way and time frame. So sometimes we have to kind of go to what we don't want to get to what we do want, but I would like for you to think and speak in language that focuses on what you do want in your love life. I believe this is a really powerful principle because what we focus on expands. So if you want to expand what is possible and what you do want, focus on what you do want. So that's the first tip. The second tip is to assess your current reality. So when this man was asking me these questions on the plane, like, what would make you believe that? Why would you say that? It made me really stop and think, what would make me believe that? Why would I say that? And some of the current reality for me was I'd had a few disappointing relationships. I'd had some things that didn't work out. I was seeing the world of men and the possibility of love kind of through a scarcity mentality at that point. And so it was an opportunity for me to shift some of those beliefs, to take what I could that was positive and that what I learned from some of these relationships that didn't work out, and recognize that these were opportunities for learning and growth, and that I now had deeper clarity about what I did want and what I did need, and that was actually an empowering uh, source of growth for me and an empowering bit of knowledge for me to have that could help me perhaps to make better choices, wiser choices moving forward. Have compassion for yourself. Recognize that this is a journey and an opportunity for growth, and take an honest assessment of where things are at, not a cynical assessment and not an unrealistic assessment, but be willing to look at the truth of where your life is at. And that leads me to tip number 3, which is to ask the what questions. Ask questions like, what would need to shift in my life or in my mindset to make this more likely? What are some of the things that I may not have explored that I could explore that might make a difference for me? An example of that might be getting some support or coaching from a mentor that you really resonate with. That might be something you haven't really explored with before. It might be seeking some new knowledge about yourself or healing some piece from your past that you feel like keeps coming up as an obstacle for you, getting some support around that. Ask those what questions. What would need to shift? What would need to change for me to have a mindset that is more conducive to love? Now, obviously, there's so much I could say about this because this is such a big and important piece. But I wanted to just give you a little something to chew on, a little something to think about to get you started with this. And one thing to pay attention to is just to pay attention wherever possible to what your thoughts are telling you. And if your thoughts are going in a more negative direction or in a scarcity kind of direction, to challenge those thoughts and see if you can shift some of those things into a more positive direction that is more supportive to you. Because then we won't be afraid to go into your mind alone at night in the dark. And your mindset will be more conducive to love. So I'm going to be signing off for now. Be sure to like this video, Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave a comment below. I'm sending you love and blessings, and I will be back soon with more for you. Bye-bye for now. Take good care.